So the first time I laid eyes on her, it was me and out there 5 or 6 girls at a restaurant after a volleyball game. And but she just stood out. Her hair, her smile, her eyes, just I don't know. You see her, and this is a fun person. It must be fun to spend time with her.
Listen now to your mind when it tells you to do what your heart says to do. Don't be shy.
I love his smile, I love his face. His eyes are beautiful because they're not brown and they're not green, they're a little bit of both.
That's a hard one, mostly because I just like all of that figure.
I love that he can just wrap me up in a huge old bear hug.
She's a very reliable person, very intelligent.
He is funny and he's caring and he wants to be everybody's friend, and he is everybody's friend. He comes into a room and in 15 minutes he knows everyone and where they're from and what they do, and probably 5 other people that they know.
One moment you're doing something that is hard, something that you have to get it done, and the moment after you're hiking a mountain and just having fun. She just got it all.
So I first saw Giuseppe after a volleyball game, and what I knew was that he was with the assistant coaches. And so I was expecting someone probably in their 30s or 40s, and a friend shows up to a restaurant with a bunch of us with this guy, and he's definitely not in his 40s.
Yeah, I noticed her, we talked a lot, and as she was leaving I was kind of bummed. I didn't have a chance to really get to know her better, but I said, if it has to be, I'll see her again. And 2 weeks later, I got to see her again, and I convinced her to give me her phone number after talking to her to death. So the fact that me and Jackie were apart, I think it just played a super important role in making us kind of move forward. When you're far, you have to talk on the phone a lot. And I'm not good at calling people, but with her it was just so natural and something I couldn't wait for.
Giuseppe had a weekend where he didn't have to play volleyball, and so he flew to California. And I think we were both kind of nervous about, like, do I really like this person? For the very first time, we were actually going to purposely plan out, you know, a marathon date for a whole weekend. And so my big nervous thing that hit before he got off the plane was like, am I going to be attracted to him? But then, like, he got off the plane, he got in the car, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're fine. I'm not worried about that.
It took me a while to really feel comfortable with saying I love this person, and after we were able to visit and after our first kiss, we started to talk about it.
We had a DTR that weekend, which is a define the relationship talk, partly out of joke because he's like, well, now that we've known each other for about 40 hours, we should, you know, have a DTR because that's how they do it in Provo.
But I was like, you know what, I need to think about this. She respected that a lot, and in the following days she was just the same person. She wasn't worried, she didn't freak out. She understood me from the very beginning, and not a lot of people do that.
The weekend after that, I got set up with someone. So that may or may not, you know, a little bit of competition may or may not spur him on, I'm not sure. But 2 weeks after that, we both had told each other that we loved each other. And at that point, I'd known him like 6 weeks, if that. And so he had planned a couple months to be in Italy with his family.
She decided to come visit me in the middle of July. I knew I wanted to propose, want to ask her dad and mom in person. And I had to get over that. And I said, if I want to do it in Italy and surprise her, I had to call him. And her mom and dad, they were just the best. So I did call all of the siblings after that, just because I felt like it's the right thing to do. And I thought of all these wonderful places, okay? But I could do it in Rome, I could do it in Naples, on Lake Como, I could do it in Milan.
It's kind of an old Italian tradition to get engaged with the family there so they can welcome you in.
And just the last day, we had lunch with the family.
And after lunch, he pulled me aside for a second. I was like, hey, I have something for you from all the family. And so I was like, okay. And so I come over with him, and in my head, I'm thinking, well, I already got the ravioli set. Like, what else is there?
I went to my room. It took me 15 seconds or so to actually get the ring and say, yeah, I'm gonna step out and do it. And I took the ring, realized that it was waiting too long. So I went out with the ring in my hand, like the box. And she looked at me like very much like this. What? And she's like, what is going on?
He has this tiny box in his hands. And I start freaking out. And then he opens it and it's a ring. And so he starts talking to me and I just start laughing because he totally floored me, totally surprised me.
I just told her the story that I just said. I said, yeah, I asked your parents over the phone while you were flying here, so you couldn't know it. And talk to all your siblings, and they know I love you.
He just said some really, really sweet things and talked about how he wanted to spend the rest of his life with me, and proposed right in front of his family. And so I said yes and laughed some more.
Shout it out.
So we've had quite the journey over the last several months.
We're getting married in just a few days now. I can count the days, and every day goes by and I just feel more and more and more and more comfortable with the choice I've made.
I love your strength, and I love your passion, and I love your drive and your how much you care about other people.
I'm excited, so excited to just have the chance to spend all my life with you and then go on to eternity together.
And we have no idea what to do with the little hellions that we have in a couple years, that we'll at least be able to clutch each other and say, okay, we'll figure this out.
Just share together the good and the bad and just push through. And I look forward to it so much. And you are the best, #1 in my heart, and I love you.
And I love you so, so much.